Hey everybody. So the disastrous start to the season for the LA Kings continues, and now they've got even more bad news. Starting goaltender Jonathan Quick is out indefinitely with a torn meniscus in his knee, and the Kings are done. This pretty much ends their season. They were already off to a horrendous start. Quick was off to a horrendous start. But now they've lost their superstar goaltender and their best player for significant time. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what the timetable for a torn meniscus would be. But he had surgery on it, so you've got to think it's going to be at least 6 weeks. And for a goaltender and someone who plays such a physical, position that has to move the way that goaltenders move, it could definitely be even longer than that. So Quick could be out for a significant time. He's going to be I would think it'd be at least 4 to 6 weeks, maybe probably even longer. And the Kings were off to an awful start even with Quick. So now without him, they're just done. I think their season's over. Jack Campbell and Peter Budaj are not going to cut it playing goal for the Kings, who are a team that were off to playing lousy hockey even with their star goaltender in the lineup. So Quick's out indefinitely. The Kings are off to a 3-8-1 start. They only have 24 goals for. So in 12 games, they're only scoring 2 goals a game, and they've given up 44 goals in those 12 games. So they're almost giving up 4 goals a game. So they're giving up almost twice as many goals as they're scoring. Their goal differential is -20, and we're only a month into the season. This team's all done. They can't score goals, which is which was a problem for them last year, especially in the playoffs. And they didn't do anything to fix that. They brought in Ilya Kovalchuk, and he has not been the help that they needed at all. And now they can't keep the puck out of their own net. The calling card with the Kings was always their great defense, and they were the best defensive team in the league last year. This year, their defense and goaltending have been atrocious, and it doesn't look like that's going to change at all. There's nothing there that makes me think that that's going to change. They had a 6-game losing streak earlier in this season. They broke it by winning their third game of the year, and then they lost last night to Philadelphia 5-2. So I can't see how the Kings are going to turn this around. There's nothing there that makes me think they're going to turn this around. They can't score, and they can't play defense. So what can they do? Nothing. If you're a Kings fan, I guess this year's going to be a long year, and it's going to be a rough year. But you are going to have a very high draft pick to look forward to come the draft in June. So I guess that's something to be happy about, because the Kings are probably going to get a top 5 pick out of this season. They're probably the worst team in the Pacific, or at the very least, they're going to finish 7th. No one in the Central's that bad. Ottawa and Montreal and Detroit are all, Ottawa and Montreal are playing much better than expected. Detroit has won a few games now, and they're starting to play a little bit better. The Rangers won last night. Who's worse than the Kings at this point? I mean, I don't know if the Kings are actually the worst team in the league, and come season's end, they probably won't be in dead last. But they're probably going to be one of the 5 worst teams in the league, and they're probably going to get a top 5 pick out of it. So that will definitely help them if they can get a top 5 talent in there, especially if it's a goal-scoring forward. That would be nice. But I think it's going to be a very long year for the Kings, and Quick's injury it's making things even worse, because he wasn't playing well, but he's a better goaltender than Jack Campbell or Peter Budaj, that's for sure. And Quick probably would have turned things around at least a little bit. He wasn't going to be as bad as he was to start the year all year long, but now he's going to miss a good chunk of the season. So, yeah, not a good year for the LA Kings. Look for them to be one of the bottom teams in the league. I think their season is over already. You cannot start like this and then lose your starting goaltender and turn it around, and they can't score. It'd be one thing if they were losing close games and they could score goals and it was just, bad bounces that were leading to losses. Then they could get back to 500 maybe with a little bit better play and then go from there. But this team, they're not losing close games. They just flat out aren't very good. So I think that their season's over and the Kings are all done. John Stevens is probably going to be the first coach fired this year, and it might happen fairly soon. Um, I can't think of any other coach that's on a seat that hot, or at least is on a hot seat, but is performing badly to this point. I would say Todd McClellan's on a pretty short leash in Edmonton, but Edmonton started off the year pretty well. Dave Hackstall, I thought he was going to get canned pretty quickly in Philadelphia, but Philly's won a couple games now, and they're looking a little bit better. So John Stevens, to me, looks like the first guy that's going to go, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was not too far off in the future, because I don't see this record getting much better, and I don't see this team getting much better, and now they don't have their starting goaltender. So the awful year continues for the Kings, and I think it's going to be, the full year is going to be an awful year, and things just aren't good in LA right now. So that's what I think about the Kings. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Check out offthewallhockey.com. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support Off the Wall Hockey, our link to our Patreon page also down in the description. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.